Derek here at Baileigh Industrial. We are looking at a shear today. We're going to go over the controller here and kind of explain a lot of the functions of it and hopefully answer some questions. So first thing here, turn the pump on. You're going to hit the button right here, the green button. That's going to kick the pump on. Turn the screen on here, the controller itself. That's what the NC01 switch is. That's going to turn your screen on. This switch here is turning your channel line on or off. These two buttons here, the plus or minus, are for your rake angle, which is all going to be relative to your material thickness. As you have thinner material, the blades need to be more directly over top of themselves. Where you have thicker material, you're going to actually offset the blades or give the blades a rake so that the hydraulics have enough power to make the shear and you don't end up with any kind of burr on the back side of that cut. This adjustment here is a depth on the shear, so how far this blade is actually going to stroke is all adjustable right here. This would be shallow and that would be to the full stroke. And this switch is for your jog and for your automatic mode on the blade. So if it's in this position, it is going to jog down. The operator will be able to press the foot pedal in short increments and jog the blade down. And when it's on this setting here, it's going to auto cycle. So once you hit the pedal once, you can remove your foot off the pedal and then it is going to continue its stroke at the depth setting that you have set on this dial here. So that is basically all the controls on that side of the panel. So to adjust the rake angle of the blades or the offset of the blades relative to the material, it's all done right here. However, you do have to be out of automatic mode and in jog mode to do that. But right now I cannot move anything in relationship to the blade rake. So to do that, we have to come down here to this lever. Right now it's in the workstation position. It has to be up into the adjustment station stroke position. And now we can come here and change our rake of our blade. And it's giving you a real readout there. It limits out as well. You can see exactly where you have it set. Once it's set, come back down here, put it back into the workstation. Now you're ready to shear at that rake angle. Gapping the blade from the material is very simple. It's all done here on the dial. Just literally turn it to the material thickness that you're working with, and that blade is gapped properly. So this screen here is obviously what's controlling the back gauge distance. First screen you're going to see is going to be the single station here. And what you're changing is only the XP position. There's an X position here which is related to the machine. It's the machine's reference only. The position that the operator can change is the XP position. Basically what you're going to do is literally punch in the distance that you want that back gauge to move to. It's going to enter it here. You need to confirm it with this button here. And then it locks that position into the controller. And it's going to progressively move down this system until it gets to the end, and then it'll basically move at that point. The DX position is a retract on the back gauge, so that once the blade gets to a certain depth and just about contacts that material, the back gauge will retreat to a certain distance, and you can set that distance. In this case, we'll just put 1 inch. Right there it is. We'll hit confirm, and it's locked in. We can put a piece count in here if we'd like. And it's also going to give us a current piece count as it's cycling through that job as to where we're at. I'll leave that at 0. Move down through, I'll 0 this one on as well. The delay here is the time in which this retract that we set, the DX at the 1 inch, that's the time at which it is going to do that retract. So when the blade comes down and that retract starts, when or how fast does that retract start? And this is all in milliseconds on how that works. So that is adjustable as well. And then at that point, this station's ready to go. Just go ahead and hit the green button down here. And now everything is going to adjust to that. The back gauge is moving right now. Back gauge will go past its position and then come forward to take care of any backlash. And we're set to shear. At this point, you can hit the foot pedal. So from single mode here, we can also move this back gauge in a fully manual mode as well, and not give it any programmed distance. Basically how we enter that is by hitting any one of these buttons down here in this yellow bar. That's going to take us to the manual screen. Now we can use this yellow bar to move the back gauge to whatever desired distance you'd like. You can move it more rapidly by hitting the hand button here and the plus or the minus at the same time. It's going to move a lot more fast. Or you can move it incrementally here and get some real finite adjustment out of it. That is manual mode. So now let's get into program mode. Right now we're in single mode. We're going to move into program mode. That's the program key right here. That takes you directly into the programs in the controller. Here you can put in determined distances and save those distances and put them in numerical order within one program. Right now it's on program 1. They are already named. You cannot name them anything different. The number 1 is the name of the program. So if we go ahead and open this program here, it takes us into program 1. Now in the ST value, we can put how many cycles or different stations within this one program we want. And we can go up to 8 within each program. So we can set 4 for this one. We can put in a piece count on how many total pieces we want. Obviously it's going to also give us a current piece count as we are working through it. And then we have that delay setting again for that retract on the back gauge, or when that retract, how fast that retract takes place. So this is all set here. We'll go on down the list here. Hit our green button, and that's already taking us to program 1 and station number 1 of program 1. Currently it has a 13-inch back gauge distance. So if we want to go in this program and change this or customize it, hit the red button right here, and that takes us into number 1 of 4. We're in program 1, but we're in the first station of 4. So once again, a lot like the single station, we're changing the XP number. Let's say we want this to be 1 inch. We put it in here, we hit confirm, now that locks it in. The DX position is that retract on the back gauge. How far of a retract do we want? Let's say we want the back gauge to get out of the way so it doesn't get damaged, of 1 inch. We'll go ahead and confirm that. That's going to move back 1 inch now when the cut actually starts. This is a repetition. How many times do we want this station to repeat itself before it moves on to number 2 of 4? Once, twice, however many times you want. In this case, we'll just leave 1. That station is now set. We can move on to 2 of 4 just by hitting the arrow key here. Now we're on 2 of 4, and we go right up to the screen here and we do the exact same thing we just did again. Let's say we want this at 10 inches. Hit confirm. We don't need a retract in the back gauge at this point, so we'll zero that out, but we got to confirm it. And repetition, we're just going to do it 1 time so that everything keeps moving. That's set. We move on to the next station. This is 3 of 4. Go up to the XP. We want 5 inches this time. Hit confirm. No retract on this. Hit confirm. Repetition, we're going to just do it once. Move on to 4 of 4. This is the last one. We've got 2 inch in there. We'll leave that. We've got no retract, and we're going to do it 1 time. We're set to go. So now to run the program, we need to go back to 1 of 4. If I hit the green button right now, it's going to start at this station, 4 of 4. We want to go back to the beginning of the station, assuming you set it up that way, it's sequentially, and start at the beginning. Now when we hit our button, everything's going to move to adjust to that first station. So now that we have our 4 stations set up in program 1, we can now cycle through them. So I can now take our position here, put it on automatic, and now we can cycle through them. You see we're on 1 of 4. So on this station, remember, we set a back gauge retract. So when the blade gets down to a certain distance, or just before it contacts that material, that back gauge you're going to see is going to retreat about 1 inch, and then it's going to move on to the next station. So here we go. There's a retract, and now it's going to move on to its next station. There it goes. Now we're on to 2 of 4. It's going to go to 10 inches like we had set. It's going to come back up because of the backlash. Hit our pedal. No retract on this station. Now it's moving on to the next one, which I believe was 5 inches. We're on 3 of 4. No retract on this one either. And on to the last station, which is 2 inches, and there was no retract on this one either. And we're on 4 of 4, and when it's done, it's going to go back to the beginning of that program. And that concludes program mode.